Hey, it's Jose here, and I just wanted to let you know that if you have a message to share, I want to tell you about Anchor. It is free and it is an easy way to create a podcast for you to share that message. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. There are certain creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. And most importantly, you can get your message out to the world and impact the lives that you were created to impact. Download Anchor right now. My name is Jose Vargas, and I am on a mission to help you create breakthroughs in your personal and professional life so that you can grow and lead your life with excellence. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Jose Vargas Show. I am super excited for this episode because I have a friend. He is a leader. He is an accomplished leader. He's someone I highly respect, someone I admire. And I'm going to introduce him now, Stan Richards. He is the author of a highly acclaimed book, From the Bus to the Bentley, No More Limits, as well as Mission Unstoppable that he co-wrote with Dr. George Frazier and Les Brown. He's been featured in Success from Home, Black Enterprise, and Jet Magazine, as well as the Washington Post newspaper for his accomplishments. In 2013 and again in 2014, he won the Steve Harvey and Ford Motor Company's Neighborhood Award. Please welcome Stan Richards. Stan, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Jose, for having me, man. I'm honored to be here, man. And kudos to you for all the good things that you're doing and giving back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. Stan, me and you, I was just thinking about this conversation that we're getting ready to have. And I was thinking about when I first met you. It was just for the audience sake. I met you back, I forget the year, but it was, I believe, at the Hyatt in New Brunswick when a friend of mine, he invited me to hear you speak. And you were teaching on business principles. And I met you right in the lobby there. And you introduced yourself to my brother and I, Moses and I, and you said, hey, we got to talking, and you said, hey, listen, I'll go to your house in Trenton, New Jersey. And immediately I said, there's no way that this guy is going to come over to me, nobody over here in New Jersey, especially, the hood of Trenton, New Jersey. So, but you did. And I felt a connection, especially as I heard you speaking because of your story. And it just, you were raised in the hood of Washington, D.C. I was raised in the hood of Trenton, New Jersey, and so many different connections. And you actually kept your word, which was more impressive than the Bentley that you had in front of my house. And so you came over, you rode on your Bentley, and that was a powerful moment for me because you taught me just the power of your word and commitment. And it's something that is missing in our culture today. So, but let's start there, Stan. I want to start our conversation there. Tell us a little bit about your story. I just kind of gave a little hint of it, right, from the bus to the Bentley. But tell us a little bit about your story. I love hearing your story every time you share it. But for the audience's sake, tell us your story. How did you get to the bus? And then how do you get from the bus to the Bentley?
Awesome, man. Jose, well, my story kind of starts like this. As you said, I come from very humble beginnings in the ghetto streets of Washington, D.C., 7 kids in a 3-bedroom apartment with no father in the home. I actually graduated from high school and couldn't read. I was reading on a 6th grade level when I graduated from high school, and then went on from there during the drug epidemic in the 80s. I was a functional cocaine addict from 83 to 87. Wow. And I was actually healed from addiction by God's grace and favor. And I talk about that in the book. And then I went on, once I was healed from the addiction by God's grace, and I went on to drive a bus. I was a bus driver for 18 years. And then from there, I embarked on entrepreneurship. That's when I met you. I've been always blessed to see trends and opportunities. And so long story short, got involved in an opportunity in was able to retire, me and my wife, Sharice, and we made millions of dollars back then. And then I met you in my first company. And when you get to the top of the company, they will give you a Bentley. And so that's how I got the Bentley. And then I started speaking. And then, I was actually operating what I teach now is unconsciously competent, right? So I started speaking and I started training. And then I remember being in New Jersey. I met you and met your brother. And it was something about your spirit, Jose, that really connected us. And I was able to read your book. And your spirit just wanting to serve and help people. Mm-hmm. And so that's why, when I connected with you just through a conversation, I felt there was a connection, and we've been friends ever since. I don't talk to you all the time, but we've been friends. And I always knew that you would go on to do great things. You and your brother Moses are just amazing brothers, and you're willing to just give back. And to a lot of people and to pour back. And that's the main thing. It's all about, is one thing when your life has changed, but it's all about when you go back and pour back into other people. And that's what you're doing. And that's what I'm doing. And so that's how we ended up here today, servant leaders.
Yes.
Servant leadership, because here's what I can share with you. I've been blessed to drive Bentleys, Range Rovers, travel the world. At the end of the day, you only can eat a steak so many ways.
Yes.
And it's all about, giving back and serving. It's all about surrendering to, your God-given purpose, and helping and lifting other people up through our journey in life and through our stories. So I see, even though we come from different paths, but you've always wanted to help and to serve your community. And raise your people up, God's people, and to pour back in them and tell them, look, we can have anything we want. And you're living that. And that's what it's all about. So, man, I'm just honored to be a part of your show today.
Wow. Thank you, Stan. That's a powerful, powerful journey. Like I said, I love your story. I always talk about you, whether that's with my wife or even just different coworkers. I said, hey, I was actually talking about you today with an old coworker of mine. But let's get into that. You mentioned something. You said unconsciously competent. You help people. What does that mean? Share a little bit about that.
Well, when I say unconsciously competent, it's all spirit driven. So what that looks like, Jose, even though I grew up very poor in the hood, okay, I was in the hood, but I wasn't of the hood. So what that means, I talk about in my book, that I always was curious about how you have some people that's living this wealthy life, and then you have some people that's living this broken life, this poor life. And here's what I found to be true. God loves the rich and he loves the poor.
Right.
So I was always curious and, walking around like, okay, how can I live this healthy, wealthy life? And with that, my spirit, because I started moving towards that, and I learned from Dr. George C. Fraser, okay, change come from constant spaced repetition or an emotional impact. So he talks about, you see something or you hear something. So now I'm curious, like, okay, how do I get my Bentley? Or how do I go from get one of those bus driver jobs? Because those guys that's driving the bus, they can make $100,000 a year. How do I get that? And then I started to moving towards that. And then once you accomplish that goal, you say, okay, I made $100,000. How can I make $1 million? And then I start, getting in community with Millionaire Minds. And I started growing. So I didn't understand it back then. I do now because I'm a coach and I'm a teacher. I was operating unconsciously competent, which means I was just moving towards something bigger and better, but not understanding how I got there.
Wow.
So that's how you operate unconsciously competent. So once I became, successful, over the years, I always wondered, how did this happen?
Yes.
And it was simply because I seen something, or you hear something and you start moving towards it. So it's all about being in community around people who can pour into you and add value to your life. But you got to be open and you have to want change.
Yes, come on. Yes.
So in the Bible, it says the poor will always be among us. And it's not that they don't have the opportunity. They're not open and they're not looking. They're just accepting that mediocre lifestyle.
Right.
And we don't have to accept that.
Wow. That's so good. We don't have to accept that, and that is so true, because oftentimes, you talk to people and you coach people. I'm coaching some people and you hear these excuses, right? And they're legitimate excuses, but they're still excuses of, hey, I can't do certain things because I can't do that because, so you understand, as leaders, though, we can't make excuses. As leaders, we have to see those things that we want and we have to go after them, right? So for you, seeing your first example, seeing yourself being able to drive a bus to make six figures, right? So what was that transition like now from driving the bus, making six figures, to going and into entrepreneurship, where there is no quote unquote safety, right? Safe job. But how did you go from that transition mentally, as you reflect back now? What was that step for you?
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to talk kind of fast because I know we're limited on time. So, one of the things I teach is called, whenever you set a big goal for yourself or a lifestyle change, you're going to face what we call the terror barrier. So it's basically just fear. Whenever you're looking to go to that next level, it's the fear of the unknown. And whenever you go to another level, you got to give up something to get to that level. Right? Okay. So there's 3 stages, Jose. So the first stage is what I call is bondage. So bondage is right where you are right now. You're very comfortable. You're very comfortable. You know how to drive the bus. Okay. You're making 6 figures every year. That's the same salary. So that's bondage. You're comfortable. Then what happens is you go from bondage to reasoning. You start thinking, okay, maybe even though I work my job, maybe I can be a coach. Maybe I could be because you got the gift, I got the gift. Maybe I can get off of this bus, or maybe I can do something else. So when I went from bondage to driving a bus for 18 years, being institutionalized on a bus, then I embarked on the direct sales industry, okay, because I seen an opportunity and so I started making about $2,000 a month. And then I said, well, you go from bondage to reasoning. Well, maybe I can get off of this bus and do this full time. So now, but to get this, you're not going to do nothing. You're just reasoning, meaning you're just talking. You're just talking, right? Okay. We do a lot of this talking. You're not going to do nothing, but you're just talking. So you go from bondage, then you start talking. You're reasoning with it, right? So what happened for me was I started telling everybody at the bus garage I was going to be leaving. And so this true story, in June of 2007, I was telling everybody I was going to leave in December 2007. So December came, and so you go from bondage to reasoning to now conflict. Because part of you, Jose, saying I can leave this job and I can go full-time entrepreneurship, right? And make 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month. And then the other part is, why would you do that? Okay, you don't quit the bus job. Okay, you're making 6 figures, right? So now you're in a state of conflict. And when you're in a state of conflict, all hell is breaking out, because part of you saying you can do it, the other part said, you freaking idiot, go back to the bus. You're safe there.
Right.
So whenever you reach this state of being, you have some decisions to make. Either you burst through the terror barrier to freedom, Or if you don't make the decision, Jose, you go back to bondage. And unfortunately, that's what people do every day. When they're in that state of conflict, it's so easy just to go back and work your job.
Wow.
You follow me?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so here's what's so powerful. Even when you burst through, like I burst through, and I said, you know what? I got to do this. I told everybody I was going to do it. Now I got to do it. So I burst through, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Because it's been 15 years I've been full-time entrepreneur, right? But guess what? Once you burst through, then there's another terror barrier. So life never gets easier, right? There's always levels. There's always another level for Jose. There's always another terror barrier. But here's the cool part. Once you burst through it, right? Now you got understanding. So the word says that all you do get understanding.
Yes.
Through study, you get understanding. So now, whenever I'm setting another big goal for myself, Jose, guess what? And I get in this anxiety, I know I'm just facing the terror barrier. And now I know that I can burst through this to freedom. Because think about it. We're God's highest creation, and his spirit dwells within us, and his spirit is perfect. Our DNA is perfect. Yes. And he said in his word to have dominion over the earth, to rule, to be the head and not the tail.
That's right.
So we supposed to be multimillionaires.
That's right. Come on.
Okay? And we are supposed to live in abundance. It's through genetics and environment that has kept us down for so long. Right?
Right.
Yeah. So what I mean by genetics, mom and them, Trenton, New Jersey, everybody's complaining about being broke, right? And your teachers, all these your coworkers, all of this stuff is coming into your conscious mind, seeping in your subconscious. Now you're starting to believe that, okay, this is who I am and this is who I'm supposed to be, and it's all BS.
Right.
That's not who we are. We are great people.
That's right. Wow.
Right?
That's right.
And it's our duty, okay, to go back and do exactly what you're doing and exactly what I'm doing, which is to pour into the masses and say, you can be, do, and have anything that you want.
That's right. Wow.
No more excuses, no more limits.
That's right. Wow. That is so good, Stan. So mindset is obviously definitely the key to success and to leadership.
Yeah.
Right. So breaking that past that terror, I'm taking notes here, breaking past that terror barrier. The first stage is the bondage stage, which is you being comfortable as a leader. You've had some level of success, but you are comfortable there. And then once you reach that second level, which is reasoning, you start talking, right? And then you face conflict. And that's when most people either revert back to bondage or they break through to that decision, which is going to give them understanding and that
freedom. Yeah. Freedom. Yeah.
Wow. So how can someone right now listening, a leader right now, begin to, if they want to go from where they are to that next level, that next peak, maybe it's full-time entrepreneurship like yourself. So how can they begin, if they're ready to conquer that terror barrier? What are some of those key principles for them to break past that terror barrier?
Well, they got to understand, okay, the mind, okay. And so the mind, you have the conscious mind, which is our thinking mind. And then you got the subconscious, which is our emotion. So Jose, so information is coming in the conscious mind, right?
Yes.
And the cool thing about the conscious mind is that you can accept or you can reject whatever thought come in. You can accept it or you can reject it, right? Now, if you don't reject it, it seeps into the subconscious. Now, your subconscious mind is what's really controlling you. We call it your paradigm, right? So now, a paradigm is just a multitude of small habits that leads to our behavior that equals our results over time. So your results is telling the story of what's going on in your subconscious mind.
Say that again.
Your results is telling the story of your life, of what's going on in the subconscious. So if you want to change your results, you have to reprogram your subconscious mind. And that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
But here's the cool thing about it. Anybody can do that. All I've done, I'm still the bus driver from around the way with the PhD, public high school diploma. I've learned how to reprogram my subconscious to get the results that I'm looking for. It's nothing but a computer.
Wow.
Right?
Right.
So if you reprogram the mind, think about it like this, Jose. The mind, nobody has ever seen the mind. If I ask you, most of the time I ask people, where your mind? They'll point here. No, that's your temple. Or they point here. No, that's your brain. I said, where's your mind? Your mind is in every cell of your body. The mind is in every cell of your body. And we think in pictures. If I say, Jose, what color is your car? Right there, you just thought about the color of your car. What color is it?
Blue.
What color is your interior?
Black.
What color is your refrigerator?
Silver.
Okay, so we think in pictures. You see how powerful the mind is?
Yeah.
So now, the thing is, in order to get anything that you want, any lasting change, you got to get very clear on what is it that you want, number one, personally and in business. And then you got to reprogram the mind to get the results that you're looking for. Now, that being said, these are three things that I'll tell people you need, right? Number one is you got to make a decision that you want change. Okay? The problem is most unsuccessful people never make decisions. You got to make a decision. Okay? And sometimes I ask people, and I was like, what is it that you want? They said, I want a new house. And I said, well, why don't you have it? They said, because I don't have the money. I said, well, you don't need the money. You haven't made the decision. When you make the decision, the money shows up.
Come on. Wow.
Right? Successful people make decisions. Unsuccessful people don't make decisions, which leads to fear, doubt, and worry. Right? Make a decision. Number two, you have to be willing to invest in you. People will invest in cars. They will invest in watches, clothes, bags. They will never invest in their personal development.
Come on.
Okay? Number three, you got to get a coach or accountability partner.
Yes.
You cannot do it by yourself or you've already done
it. Say that again.
You cannot, whatever big goal you want, you cannot do it by yourself or you would already done it. If you want to get in perfect shape, you'd already done it.
Right.
You can't do it by yourself. There has to be think about this, Jose. Every winner have a coach. Every winning team has a coach.
That's so true.
There's no such thing as a self-made millionaire. Nobody can do anything by themselves. Jesus even had 12 disciples.
That's right.
Does this make sense?
Absolutely.
So you got to be willing you got to have these three things. You got to make the decision. You got to be willing to invest in yourself. And then you got to have a coach. You have to have someone that you can connect with, someone who inspire you to go to that next level. So what people don't see from the bus to the Bentley and they don't see all of the coaches that's been in my life over the last 15 years. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on personal development. My life is truly unrecognizable today if you compare it to 15 years ago.
Wow.
I made decisions. I've always invested in Stan Richards. right?
Yes.
And I've always had coaches along the way. Because here's the thing, nothing is destroyed or created. This iPhone has already been here when we was using the video phone. There it is right there. Remember the video phone? Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, we've already, this iPhone has always been here. Guess what? It's all about awareness. Somebody thought of this back in the 90s. And now we're using the iPhone. When we was using the video phone, remember we used to tell people that one day you're going to be able to see the person on your cell phone. Voila.
That's right.
You follow me?
Yeah.
So, yeah, my whole point is it's all about awareness. We are all unique. Everything you want is inside of you. It's something that you're not aware of to take you to that next level. That's why you need coaching and accountability to go to that next level.
Absolutely. Wow. That's powerful. Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to recap for everyone listening. Listen, if you want to take your life and your leadership to the next level, what Stan Richards just said, you have to do these three things. And I totally agree, because I have seen these three things consistently surface in my own life as well, Stan. The first one is to make a decision, and to answer that question, what is it that you truly want, right? What is it that you want? Have a little focus. What is it that you want? The second one, invest in yourself. You can't be cheap with yourself. You have to believe in yourself. We see it all the time where people, you can say you believe in yourself all you want till your face turns blue, but show me where your money's going, right? Are you really believing in investing in yourself? And then number three, you said get a coach or accountability. And that is so true. A coach would challenge your thinking. They would challenge your perspective and your perceptions. So, wow, those are three powerful takeaways and practical applications that anyone can do right now. So that's a powerful thing. Stan, thank you so much. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, just, you know what, Jose, I'll say this. I always say no more limits, right? Surrender to the process. There's something in you that wants more.
Yes.
There's something, we are amazing people. When you think about how the human body, the human person is made, we are amazing people.
Yes.
There's so much more in you, right? Here's the thing. We all going to leave this earth one day. And the tragedy would be you leaving this earth, okay, and you have not gotten out of your comfort zone and went after those things that you said you wanted to do, write books, start a business, whatever. There's a saying that God's gift to us is more gifts and talents than we will ever use in a lifetime. Our gift to God is to utilize as many of those gifts and talents during this lifetime.
Yes. That's so
right.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
No more limits.
Yes.
That's real, Jose, that's real living at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
It's not about car. We buy this stuff to impress people who don't like us and who don't know us. We're riding around in these cars with these big old wheels on them and all that. People don't even know you, right?
That's right.
That's looking at the car.
Right.
So, at the end of the day, be your true authentic self and get still and answer, ask yourself, what is it that I really, really want during this lifetime? Personally and in business.
Yes.
Jobs are just stepping stones, but we're not put on this earth to drive the bus.
That's right.
That's just a stepping stone to get to where I'm going.
Yes.
You follow me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Stan, you gave us so much in our short time together just to unpack all this wonderful information so we can unpack and really apply. And I'm just going to say this, if you're listening to Stan's story, I hope that is impacting you in the way that is impacting me as I'm listening to it again. Because like Stan says, we have gifts and talents that God has given us as leaders, and people who are looking up to us, people who were modeling, or leading, that are following us, that we need to show them what's possible for them as well. We need to show them, hey, not only am I going to settle for a job, but I'm going to live my best life, the life that I'm called to live, to utilize the gifts, the call, the talents, and everything that God deposited within me. So, Stan, thank you so much. Where can people connect with you on social media?
On my social media pages, Facebook is Stan Richards. Then on Instagram is Stan Richards Online. And then my website is stanrichardsonline.com. And they can reach out to me if they want a free 30-minute consultation. I'd be love to help them realize their goals and purpose during this lifetime.
Absolutely. And where can people buy your book, From the Bus to the Bentley, No More Limits?
Right on my website is stanrichardsonline.com.
Awesome. Stan, thank you so much for your time. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And what a rich conversation. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, friends, it takes time and it takes work, but together we can become a leader worth following. You don't have to put up a front. You don't have to remain stuck, but you can take actionable, practical steps to get your breakthrough and not just accept your life, but lead your life towards excellence and towards impact. Because isn't that what we want? We want to have impact in this world, and we want to impact the people in our lives. I want to thank you for listening. If you enjoy that, give Stan a follow, give him a shout, and leave me a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.